welcome back to Missions Life Chronicles. This is episode 5, I think.
Episode 5, wow.
Yeah. And so this is just going to be another one of just fun stories. We don't have an interview today. We'll have interviews probably
Hopefully coming up.
Yeah, for our next one.
Hopefully.
So yeah, we have a few stories from ourselves, but then also some stories from other people. So this will be fun.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So here's the first one.
Okay.
And a couple of these stories we basically found online. They're free to use, free to disseminate, but they're pretty funny.
Okay.
And ones we can relate to.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one says, during our first year on the field, I had a very small child, newborn in fact. So all of my language study came from a housekeeper. Very common. Mm-hmm. She didn't keep much house, but she was cheaper to talk to and learn. Cheaper to talk to or learn from a tutor. So she spoke no English. It's a fabulous way to learn. We can attest to that.
Yep.
Anyways, one day she was trying to make conversation and we were talking about food. I tried to say to her, I do not eat goat.
Okay.
She jerked her head back and looked at me funny. I grabbed my dictionary. What I really said was, I don't eat dish rags.
Well,
wow.
That's probably
good.
A good thing.
Good thing. Yeah.
She doesn't need dish
So
rags.
that is one that I think a lot of missionaries can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
I know, like for me, when we lived in Southeast Asia, I love coffee. I love coffee. And I would always go in and I would try to order coffee in the language. And rather than asking for a blended coffee, I kept asking for a coffee house, which got funny looks.
Yeah.
Learning language is not easy.
Oh,
but
man.
it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that story.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
very much so. Anyways,
Okay.
You got one?
Okay, so I have one from someone that lived in Papua New Guinea as well.
Okay.
Okay, and so this couple went out to a village to visit a new church, and they get there, and the church is very, very excited that they've arrived, right?
Okay.
So they make this big feast, and they give them the delicacies, which
Oh, no.
was actually the chicken entrails, the insides of the chicken.
All right.
And the wife was particularly not wanting to eat this, which, I can kind of understand.
I can understand that, yeah.
Yeah, so she waited till the people kind of were gone and discreetly fed it to a dog. Well, when they came back, they looked down at her banana leaf and it was empty. Thinking she was still hungry,
Oh,
they
no.
brought her more.
Oh,
Yes.
oh no.
But I don't know if she ate the second portion or not.
Oh, man. Yeah, in a lot of cultures, like if you empty your plate, that means you enjoyed it and you want more.
Exactly. I
And
know.
yeah, you got to be. Here in the States, we always say, clean your plate.
I know,
and
exactly.
There, maybe you want to leave just a little bit
Yeah.
to say, I'm good.
I'm good, yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and if you have a story too that
Yeah.
you would like to share, you can send it to us at
This email
yep.
right here. Or leave it in the comments.
Yeah, one of the two. Either one.
So, all right. So this missionary was visiting. So in Brazil, they were visiting a congregant in the church, and he was offered coffee, but he refused because caffeine was causing him some health problems, and then tea because he didn't know what type of leaf it would be from if it would have caffeine. And finally, he refused water because he couldn't make sure it was pure. Deciding that he wouldn't refuse whatever came next, he accepted a glass of lukewarm milk with thick cream at the top.
Well, that might not be too bad.
And this is the quote: "As I began to drink, I noticed something swimming in the milk.
Oh, that's not
And
fun.
beneath the cream, discovered a large cockroach doing a backstroke." He remembers, that
Oh,
was
no.
too much. "Suddenly I realized I was standing there before a large open window.
Okay.
I quickly threw the milk out the window, relieved to have been able to save face."
Okay.
Which, yeah. The problem wasn't solved that easily. Just then, he relates, in through the open door comes a little boy with milk running down his face and crying, "Mommy, Mommy, that big man threw milk all over my face."
I wonder how he explained that.
You know,
Oh my
the
goodness.
best intentions.
I know. You try really hard
trying
not
really
to
hard to
offend anybody
yeah,
or whatever.
and then
But it's hard sometimes,
Yeah.
isn't it? You really want to do your best, but it's hard.
yeah, that's
Okay.
that's a good one.
Speaking of cockroaches, because there is cockroaches in that story. This is my own story, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, of course, most of you know I grew up in Papua New Guinea. And we went to another mission base on vacation, okay? Well, apparently there was at least somewhat of a cockroach issue, and so they left us with these cockroach sprays, right? And so we found out that you don't want to get up in the middle of the night because the cockroaches are all over the floor. So you would do your best to go use the restroom and not get up in the middle of the night to have to go potty again because it would be ugly.
Right.
Anyways, one night I was not successful. So I went to get up, but I forgot to put my flip-flops or something right next to my bed. So
Oh, no.
I am in bare feet trying to walk.
No.
I don't have a flashlight, because at least if you have a flashlight, you can shine it on the ground and then the cockroaches scatter.
Yeah.
I do not have a flashlight. I am just trying to run to the bathroom.
No.
As I'm running, every step, crunch, crunch,
Crunch,
crunch,
crunch, crunch, crunch.
It was so bad.
Oh.
But I had to go really
It
bad.
reminds me of Gimli and Lord of the Rings.
I know, really. It was so bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, in the mornings when we'd wake up, we'd call for Dad. You're like, Dad, Dad, and he'd bring the spray and spray a path,
Wow.
kind of thing for us. But yeah, that one night, that
that's-
was, yep,
Ooh.
yep, that was definitely
Yeah, I don't know that I could have
a
handled
little
that one.
bit scarring, maybe.
That would have been a bit scarring, absolutely. Okay.
So do you have one?
Yeah, I had. This is the final one.
Okay.
And before I say this, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click that like button. As we release content, we're trying to get a little more consistent, but sometimes life happens. This is just at this point, just a fun side hobby we do.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, so this is my own story. So, we were living in Southeast Asia. We sent a team to neighboring country, to Vietnam. We sent them to Vietnam, and they were doing work in Vietnam. And so me and my son, and then one of the leaders and his daughter went to visit the team that was on the field to just do a check and see how they were doing. Well, like I said earlier, I love coffee, and
Yep, gotta have our coffee.
got to have our coffee. And so, anyways, me and our son, we go to. We're like, hey, where's a good coffee shop? And they're like, hey, just go down the street and there's a coffee shop on your left. Great coffee shop. So we're like, all right. And I'm preparing in my mind, all right, so I gotta, articulate what I want clearly, trying to figure out how to say it in another language. So anyways, we go into this coffee shop. And fortunately, because it's a touristy area, everything's in English and Vietnamese, but mostly English. And so I'm like, all right, that's good. And so this girl comes out from like this little office, and in a perfect Valley Girl, California, she's like, hey guys, what you want? And I was like startled, and like it threw me off for a minute, because I'm like, but come to find out, she was actually born and raised in Central California.
Oh, wow.
And she moved back to Vietnam and started a coffee shop. But yeah, no, it was funny. It took me like 5 seconds to figure out, okay, she's speaking perfect Valley Girl English. Okay, you're not in California. Just order your coffee.
Well, it's kind of funny when you mentally prepare. To have to, okay, how am I going to say this in a way that they'll understand? And then boom, that just like throws your whole,
Threw me completely off.
Yeah, it threw you for a loop, I guess.
And I
right?
just kind of turned and I looked at our son, and he's like, he was just as confused as I was.
That's
But you
funny.
know what? Great coffee.
That's good.
Strong. Okay. The follow-up to that story is this. Can I finish with this?
Yes, finish with this.
So we had that coffee. Our son does not drink coffee for reasons.
For reasons.
For reasons. And you'll find out. So he had that coffee. And then we went out to lunch with the team leader. And we got him this little shot of thick Vietnamese coffee. And he just chugged it.
So that's 2 coffees.
That's 2 coffees.
When he doesn't drink coffee.
And he doesn't drink coffee. And the second coffee was like liquid caffeine. And so that was about 6:30 at night. I kid you not. At 1 o'clock in the morning, he's laying in bed. I'm trying so hard to go to sleep. And his eyes are bugging out. And he's like, so, Dad, I can't go to sleep. So what are we doing tomorrow? What do we got to do? What do we got to do? I'm like, dude, you are not drinking any more coffee.
No more coffee for him.
No more coffee for him. And we still laugh. We still laugh about that.
Oh,
so.
I'm sure.
Anyways, there you have it. Just a few stories.
Yep.
Missions is fun. Missions is challenging. And our heart really is to see the gospel go to the nations. And as you're doing that, you get to experience some funny things.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's part of the reason, like when it's just with just us two, we like to just share stories. And then when we have missionaries, on the channel, we like to hear their stories, hear their struggles, hear what they're doing for the Lord. So
Right.
anyways, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out.
Thanks
And
for
thanks for
watching.
watching. Have a great day.
Bye.